Alright, greetings fellow pack members, my name is Openero, and welcome back to the Shadow Castle. Now you may have noticed that the walls have been finished. The walls are done. I do have to finish around over here, of course, but the walls for the main section of the castle are finished. Also, title of the video, I put down the wrong due date. That is correct. The due date that I have kept on mentioning was the beginning of May. I then switched it to a launch window, which was throughout the entire month of May, but technically speaking, I ended up recording this map on June 8th of 2019. So I have until June 8th to go ahead and complete everything, and lately I've been doing a swell job. Of course, I have to go ahead and finish putting down all the cobblestone on the floors on the barracks, but as far as everything else goes, I'm doing perfectly fine. I know I said I wasn't going to be focusing too much on everything else in the game for the time being until the main section was completely finished, but I decided to go ahead and have a little fun with the mine shaft for a little bit, and you'll see something in a little bit which I thought was actually pretty amazing. That's just to go ahead and mark where I'm going to be putting the main building. And right here is going to be a string of light source, or a string of lanterns I should say, going all the way down. So that way there's plenty of light. Of course I didn't put it in this corner yet, and I haven't really laid out any tracks or anything yet, but that would be on a later date. But the fact that this is a forever going cavern, and that actually makes it all the way down that far, is pretty cool, especially with the fact that this is really only supposed to be going that far, and the fact that I have pretty much a good amount of space to be working with as soon as I get to the mines. I'd say that, once again, I am doing a pretty decent job. Again, it's mostly just the buildings that I have to do, and the rail carts. Another thing I want to go ahead and mention is that I realized that I actually hollowed out the top of each and every single one of the ice spikes over here. And I also wanted to understand that I may or may not be doing something with these guys, because I am still writing the story. It is still a working in progress, and as far as I'm concerned, this is basically downsized. All of which that you are seeing right now is downsized, so that's that. Gonna go ahead and actually get a little bit deeper into the staircase. All the stairs have been completed. The stairs have been completed. So, from up here all the way down here, I have placed down each and every single stair step, and I've done all of that plus the walls all day today. So yeah, for a good hour and a half I could say that I've been a little busy, but because the game is updated, I'm not too worried, about time as I used to be. So that leaves me plenty of time to get what I need to get done, which is, of course, filling in areas like this, which, honestly, I should have been getting done today as well. But I have also been focusing on trying my best to get everything else set up, especially for the continuation of the spiral staircase. And also, I wanted to go ahead and let you guys know that I am going to be getting ready to place down the second flooring. Sorry, I don't know why that was difficult to say. I'm going to be getting ready to place down the second flooring, and after I'm done with the second floor, I may go ahead and increase the size of the tower at the base right here, probably going all the way up to the middle. And what I'll also be doing is I will be leaving the top part as it is, only because of the fact that, one, after looking at the size of the tower and the amount of room that I have to use, I realize that this isn't exactly a lot of room. like I said, this entire area is supposed to be dedicated to the spiral staircase. I need this room in order for me to go ahead and move around. Now, of course, I could go ahead and simply leave this like that and work from here. However, that only leaves me, this is for this point, okay, so I can't build here. I want enough walking space, which leaves about, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 10 blocks worth of building. Actually, no, 9 blocks. And if I wanted to go ahead and decrease the size a little bit and change it into rooms, that leaves me 8 blocks to work with. And for a tower, usually I would, rather much prefer having it not as a cubicle, especially since that this isn't modern day. This is supposed to be all a fantasy, medieval-like event, or medieval-like technology. As I explained in one of my previous videos, they basically have a mixture between the industrial age technology and medieval technology, because their way of evolution is going to be a lot more difficult due to the fact that they are animals and that their intelligence came before their, I would say, physical evolution. Their mental evolution came before their physical evolution. So think humankind, monkeys, but with the ability to actually speak English and to use tools and stuff like that. Basically like that. Wear armor and everything else like that. So Planet of the Apes, I guess you could put it that way, Planet of the Apes. And also you may have noticed before I go up here that I have changed my opinion about using anything but glowstone. The only reason why I'm using glowstone is because of the fact that I'm being an idiot and I was overthinking it. Because it is it's supposed to be a fantasy-like story with magic and potions and everything else like that, might as well go ahead and add a little less realism to it, just to make it look a little bit better. So I figured, hey, it's not going to be that bad, people are going to be like, oh, no, that's not in the story, or that's not a real-life element, glowstone isn't real. Yeah, well, neither is magic. Which is basically what I kind of told myself, well, magic isn't real either, so, what's the point? Also, you'll notice that I put something else down here. This is supposed to be the library. Of course, you notice how I still have the beacon here from one of my early videos. But I was looking back at one of my very old documents on the story, and it was actually a very well descriptive paragraph of what the entire room looked like. And unfortunately, like I said, everything is downsized. Everything isn't as what it's supposed to be. And honestly, if I could do everything detail by detail, I probably would have gone ahead and I would say leave a little bit of room here and there. Or I would have gone ahead and probably even downsized this a little bit, but because this is by block and not by, simple small materials, it's not like I could go ahead and simply say, oh yeah, well, I could do this or that and this and that. No, not really. I can't really do that because it's all by blocks. But these wooden pieces right here, you probably see them at the ends, is supposed to be the end spot of where all of the bookshelves is supposed to be. So bookshelf is supposed to go left to here and then right at there. Left to here, right at there. And you'll also notice that I have kind of like a second floor plan for this. That's because everything has been measured out, so that way I can technically have, 3 spaces for each area. Which, originally, this design was supposed to be built so that way I could have 3 different floors. However, I changed it to the 2 floors to make it look a little bit more medieval and look, more castle-like, with corridors filled with columns and so on and so forth. And that is the other thing I wanted to go ahead and talk about too, which is the amount of space that I have in the game. Or in the castle, sorry. Yes, in game, but in the castle mostly. And what I'm talking about is that, there's so much space in here. I could go ahead and fill this in very easily. So what exactly would I do to fill it in? And I understand that I'm not focusing on stuff like that until later on when everything else is finished, especially the exterior of the castle. It's mostly just in here, in here, and here, get the basic flooring layout, and that's it. You know, that's all that I really want to do. And I would consider this as a completion or pre-completion mode. Everything else is going to be like extra details and stuff like that, but I can go ahead and show this off, but after that everything else is going to be put extra time into it and stuff like that. But as of right now, this is probably going to be one of the most detailed areas of this castle. This, and of course another area which I unfortunately will not be showing off, or as of this moment I don't plan on showing it off. So yeah, I mostly have to worry about the amount of spacing that I have in here, what I'm going to do with it. This area obviously is going to be taken care of, and I might change a few areas to not look like this, because again, this was a part of the original design where I would go ahead and technically map out everything and put it in a reference video, like I'm doing with the prep maps right now for Kerbal Space Program. It's just for me to go ahead and look back at, to review, and to simply say, oh yeah, I did this, this is where this is where this is, let me write it down. I already have that done, so there's no need for it anymore. I left that down just for decoration. And like I said, the interior and exterior of the castle is mostly going to be done when I'm finished with every other area. Because again, like I said before, all of this is just so that way I have, you know, a basic structure to work off of. So after finishing the second floor and the ceiling and getting the barracks done and increasing the size a little bit towards the base of the castle, I'm gonna be done. I also understand that I still have not been able to go ahead and show you guys my sketches for the characters. To be honest, my phone has been acting weird lately. Usually around this time I would have either have received a new one, or I would have been able to go ahead and just simply replace it with a better one. But for some reason I had issues with it today. It locked me out of almost each and every single one of my apps, except for YouTube. That and Regal, I believe. Regal, PS Express, and well, my jobs app, or two of my apps for my job. So that was basically it. Every other app that I downloaded on here has basically locked me out. And I've also been trying to clear my storage when I basically took everything out of it, and it still said that I had a crap ton of storage. And I went through everything, I cleared my history, I went ahead and cleared all the data that I originally had on here, all the iCloud data, I cleared all of that, and it still said that it was pretty much full. So, no idea what's going on with my phone. But it's not too bad to the point where sorry about that. But it's not too bad to the point where I can't go ahead and do a few quick recordings or take a few quick pictures. But lately, with finals and everything, I haven't been able to have the time to do it. But now that finals are over, I can go ahead and take pictures, put a collab video together, or describing each and every single design that I made for the characters. Of course, they're all going to be like baselines. It's not going to be like an actual wolf. It's going to look basically like a mannequin wearing the armor. So that, and plus I'm probably just only going to be drawing the armor pieces. But give me 1 second and I'll be right back, and I'll go ahead and continue working on the castle. Alright, I'm sorry. I had to let the dog out. But, like I said, I'll go ahead and continue working on the castle as soon as I get back. So, I'm not going to be doing much of a video. It's more supposed to be more of a update video than a let's build video. And actually, I would like to go ahead and do a couple of let's build videos later on after I'm done with the castle. I understand I already have a lot to do, but at this point, I basically just want to go ahead and get a few things done. Right. While I'm at it, that was a fail. Please tell me I have it. I do. Thank you. Okay, so this is basically the furthest point. Alright, so you're probably just, all you're hearing is the clicking of my controller, so I'm trying to break the silence. So, describing, or trying to re-describe the armor that I'm putting on the characters. So, the armor that I'm putting on them is actual armor. It's actual metal armor. It's not leather or anything. I mean, few animals who live in certain regions in the world of my story, they use different resources to make different forms of armor. For example, let's say rainforest. Let's say you live in the rainforest. They'll use camouflage as their armor. Instead of fighting directly on a battlefield, they would use stealth as a means of overpowering their enemies, and doing so in number as well. Now, if it was a serious means of, hey, we need protection, and they can obviously see us, then I guess I would go ahead and put, trying to think, I would say probably loose pieces of wood. I molded together, actually. I believe that was one that I had. I'm only going to be showing the metal ones, of course, the basic metal ones, which I'll also be showing off in the first story. Or the ones that would be used in the first story, just because of the fact that I don't plan on working on anything but the first two stories of the series, or the first series. I plan on showing off everything that's already going to be happening within the next couple of books. Alright, so that's one side done. That's good. But it's all going to be really based off of location as far as what kind of armor they're wearing goes. And another thing too is that I am actually adding a little bit of human history behind. So what I mean by that is that in certain regions, animals will be using certain kinds of armor based on, you know, the amount of technology that they have and the timeline that they're in. for example, what's a good one? I would say Europe. Western Europe, probably around the UK. I would say, since it's medieval times, I would put them in basically shiny armor. A little bit similar to what I'll be showing off in the sketches, but a little bit more European, if you would say. So metal armor, European style. Basically, it's heavy metal plating covered all over the body. It's very thick and very dense pieces of metal that have several different forms of plating all over the body, along with chainmail. Basically chain-linked armor. And I would also say probably not very light. A decent weight for the helmet. Only because of the fact that their helmets serve very little purpose against attacks. Even though, in nature, animals usually go for the neck. They go for the neck, they go for the legs. They don't normally go for the face, because that's where the animal's teeth are. They don't go for the face, and they don't always go for the legs, unless the animal is always pinned down. Or, unless the animal just so happens to be pinned down. What I meant to say, my gosh. But for European standard, it'll be like heavy metal plating and so on and so forth. The plating, not the plating, but the armor that I'll be showing off is a little bit more of a modern design. Basically, because I'm American, I would go ahead and use my knowledge of armor making, which is probably gonna have to be honest with you. Not an expert in making armor. I'm just gonna say that, but I do understand. Well, everyone actually really should understand what armor is, and the different kinds of armor that you can actually make from certain resources, and so on and so forth. But what I'm saying is that I'm losing my train of thought here. What I'm trying to say is that I am familiar with how to make armor, making armor, because I've done it before. I've done it on several different animals, on test sketches, I would say, or I would call them test sketches, just to go ahead and see what it would actually look like if I wanted to put something like that on an animal, which I might go ahead and show off more than just wolf armor. I have to admit, some of the armor, especially for the animals I'm going to be showing, one of which is going to be a certain species of bird. I have to say that I got a little bit of inspiration from some of the designs from the Guardians of Ga'Hoole. Awesome movie, and awesome story, but unfortunately this movie wasn't exactly the same way as it was told in the story, and it didn't get a lot of good feedback when it came out. So yeah, not a lot of people actually know about the movie, but a good portion of people know about the story, which is hopefully you guys listening to me and my very annoying little voice right now. I still have problems with the allergies, and I have no idea why, because it's already going into summer and I still have these issues. Alright, so with that fixed, I'm probably not going to be doing too much work on the library, because, or at least not showing off too much work of the library, only because of the fact that the library is going to be, the scene of which I put together for the library, basically it's going to be putting off two very important characters, the protagonist and the antagonist. And the way it's set up kind of gives away a lot of basically spoilers for upcoming books. So, as of right now, I'm not going to be doing too much on camera for this specific area. For every other area, like the barracks, I'm doing just for fun. I'm not exactly going to have the protagonist waltzing would be a better term to describe it. The protagonist wouldn't be waltzing through the barracks in front of dozens of soldiers. I mean, we could have a mess hall and everything else like that, but that would basically be it. Also, speaking of the little scene that I made, I do have to look at a few quotes again. Yes. Okay, so I'm fine with that. I'm sorry, I was looking at a document on my computer, basically describing everything that's going on in that one specific room. But as far as expanding the tower, I don't want to expand it too much, otherwise it wouldn't be a tower. It would basically just be a very big fat building. I wouldn't necessarily call it a tower. As far as expanding the outer rims of the tower, basically, I would say a good portion would be from around here and down. I'd say that would be a good spot. Just that way the tower can still keep its look. Because originally, this section wasn't supposed to be expanded, but due to the fact that I don't have enough room, I'm probably going to have to do exactly that. So, I'll probably expand the tower all the way up to around either this layer of pillars or just directly in between them. Because, again, I don't want it to lose its look. I actually kind of like this look. I actually want to go ahead and see what it would look like even without the expansion. But as of right now, it's just mostly a suggestion that I expand the tower. So that way I can put a little bit more room into it. Alright, so give me 1 second. I do have to do something real quick. Again, I do apologize, but I'll be right back. and once again, I am back. Again, I do apologize for my absence. Alright, so that document's out of the way. There you go, alright. So, yeah, it's a matter of how much space I'm willing to put inside of the tower. Because the main purpose of the entire castle, I should really just go ahead and explain. So, barracks over here. Barracks are basically the sleeping quarters. I basically split them up into specific rooms, or I would say areas, where I guess I would have these as the main hallways, these two guys, and then this one as just like an extra backup if needed. Let's see. What I would probably go ahead and do is set the rooms up left, right, and then left, right. Now I'll go ahead and split them up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 4, 8, yeah, hold on. 4, 8, 12, 16. About 32 different areas I would be building. So 32 different rooms, or, yeah, 32 different large rooms with, I wouldn't say a single door, but whatever. Direct access to second level, which will mostly be like their, I don't know, armory? I can make that the armory, or I could go ahead and simply put this 2 floors high to fit all the rooms in, and then to put a couple of rooms towards one specific section, and everything else would basically be the armory. And then they would have direct access to the 2 walls. So I guess I could set it up like that, but the main purpose of the sides is to basically be the living quarters of all the soldiers that'll be stationed inside the castle. Everything else in the castle, there'd be a frequent patrol going up and down the halls, even though it's quite unnecessary. Or, according to the story, it is assumed that it is unnecessary. And as far as the top and bottom floors, the very bottom is supposed to be the place where I get to hold supplies and everything. So I still have to make a supply room. Everything upwards is where everything is basically made. So I would say all supplies gathered around would be basically transported upwards to I guess you could say somewhere around here. It would just be, trying to think here what I originally did, or what I originally planned, because I think it would be like potion making, food making, basically everything is gathered at the bottom, everything is crafted at the top, and everything is distributed throughout the middle and bottom. I think that was it. I'm not 100% sure, but I have to figure that out. I'll have to figure it out. But, like I said, as far as trying to figure out how much room I need, I still don't know. So, I'm more than likely just going to be leaving it at where I would be building straight upwards, starting at the spiral staircase. I may or may not go ahead and put these guys down, because like I said before, I could go ahead and just simply have the upper floor staged off as if, you know, this is where I can go ahead and start walking. If I wanted to go in, then I could go in. But I could do it like that. I could I could go ahead and do it so that way... I don't know, I'm trying to think. I'm losing my train of thought, only because of the fact that it's very hard to speak when your throat hurts. But let's see. So yeah, I might just go ahead and do it as if, you know, I wanted this to be the original idea, where 3-block wide walkway, wall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks left for building. And as far as the top floor goes, like I said, I'll more than likely be doing that off camera. As a matter of fact, I might go ahead and do that first, and then work my way down. But other than that, I do have a few other things I would like to add, like windows and stuff like that, because in the story, there are supposed to be large windows off to the side with the moonlight shining through it. And because of the fact that, I would say because of the fact that the castle's positioned so that way it's facing north and south, not east and west, I would more than likely put them on the sides over here than over there. Only because of the fact that, like I said, the fronts and the backs are mostly the areas of where I'm most concerned about armor or protection against the castle structure. Because towards the sides, if the barracks get damaged, then the barracks get damaged. But if they get passed through, like, this layer of walling or over here, then that could be an issue. But like I said, major interior and exterior additions to the castle is not going to be a major concern for a while. So as far as what I plan on doing for my next update episode for this series of Minecraft, I am more than likely going to be... I'll go ahead and finish placing... Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think here. I'll go ahead and finish placing the towers. I'll go ahead and place down the towers, or at least place the basic structure of the towers along with the spiral staircase going up. I'll go ahead and go back to a few of my old, not softwares, but like not little apps either. What is it called? I forgot. But I'll go back to a few of my old bookmarks. I'll just go ahead and leave it at that. I'll go back to a few of my old bookmarks to go ahead and figure out how to get the 4 towers on the edges over here built. And I'm also going to have to look back at my old castle sketch to see if I want to make any changes. Because I can always use a little extra change. But I don't know. I don't know what I plan on doing. I don't know if I want to go ahead and do anything. Like I said, at this point, it's mostly a matter of me trying to go ahead and get all the basic stuff out. I more than likely will not be doing any other video anytime soon relating to Minecraft until I get the towers completed, and also until I get the floor and walling of the tower figured out, and the flooring over here in the main section of the castle, because after that it's just the ceiling, getting each and every single floor individualized, getting the spiral staircase finished, and I'm more than likely going to be taking out some of the extra pieces I have down here, because I don't think these pieces are necessary. I could just simply get rid of them. But I'll have to wait and see and figure out what exactly I plan on doing. Because yeah, at this point, I'm basically putting the layer down here. And I think that's why I kind of screwed up, is that I decided to put it up right there instead of up by 1 block. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'll figure all of it out eventually. But, again, I am in pain. I did say I was going to ease up a little bit on recording and playing games that could increase my stress level. So I am more than likely going to be going back to a few old games, or I might go ahead and decide to play like Battlefield 5, or go back to City Skylines, probably mess around City Skylines a little bit. I don't know. You tell me. Because at this point, I'm too tired to think, and I am, once again, in a lot of pain. So, I'll just leave this at that. Not because of the fact that there isn't a lot to show off. I already described what I was going to be doing with the garden and farm in the previous video, and I already said that I was going to be waiting to finish everything else off over here on a later date. But as of right now, that is going to be it. If you like the video, leave a like, have any comments, questions, or advice you'd like to give me, please leave it down in the comment section down below, and I'll be happy to go ahead and look at it. And if you want to go ahead and see more videos like this, or stay up to date on what I'm doing with the castle, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and you'll be notified every single time I'm uploading a video or doing a live stream. Again, thank you for watching, and as always, I will see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.